Hello everybody, hope everyone's doing well. This video might be a little bit longer than I normally would have, but I am preparing to hit the road on a road trip, and this is kind of it'll be a long road trip similar to my 2022 trip up to Alaska and Arctic Circle and Prudhoe Bay, etc., etc. Anyway, on that trip, I made the mistake of only taking my 11-inch iPad Pro, a couple of externals, SSDs, the Samsung T6, T7s, and I came back and, well, no, let me rephrase that. I had to manage on the road the iPad with 11,000 images from wildlife shots with the XH1, um, landscapes with the GFX 100S and the 50R. Okay, and I think I had my XT1, but I don't remember. But anyway, 11,000 images rumbling through on an iPad. It just was not something that I ever will do again. Will I do it on a trip of a few days, a weekend? Absolutely, but not on a long road trip. But anyway, so this past December, I bought a M2 MacBook Air 13.6 inches, and I gotta tell you, it's unbelievable. The speed is incredible, and I love it. So I've been fine-tuning Lightroom to the way that I like to work, and what I did was I created a bunch of smart collections and other types of collections, because one thing I found was that I was manually dumping things or leaving them all congealed into one envelope by date or by the area, etc., etc., etc. And I didn't really care for that. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually, and I'll show you my collections here. Then the cameras are here because I was working on it earlier. I created these collections here. So there's images from the 100S, images from the XH1, and for this, it's a smart collection, which I have rarely used. Maybe I would say once or twice, and I've been using Lightroom since beta 1A in 2006 or 7. But I decided to give it a shot. Watched a bunch of videos on it. I said, you know what, I'm going to give it a try because I really need to get these images at the end of the night when we're in a hotel or campground or whatever. I need to be able to manage these images. So what I did was I created the first 6 or 7 that you see there are smart collections, starting with the Fuji 100S. And in order to get that set up, I referenced the serial number of the Fuji. I tried file number, because my file numbers begin with 100S, and it was sporadic. So I said, you know what, the hell with it. So I picked for each one of the cameras, the 100S, the XH1, the Leica, the sorted by, captured by serial number, both the JPEG and the RAW images. Then you can see where I have another collection called JPEGs All. That's from all 3 cameras that are going. RAW files, all. RAF, RNGs, not RNGs, DNGs, etc., from my drones and these 3 cameras. Then I go, that's just for RAW files. Then I go into my potential stock. I'm not going to use these 2, the approved and submitted, but I will use the one further down, which is stock selects. I have 30,000 images out there, and I do quite a bit of work with some companies, so I'll keep that out there. So those are now to be processed. This is a smart collection that will capture excuse me, that will capture um, images that I have either picked with the flag or labeled 5-star. I haven't decided which I'm gonna do. Maybe both, maybe one or the other. Regardless, only thing that I think that has potential that needs some additional work will be captured into that to be processed folder. The next one down is Best of the Northwest, which is where I'll be heading. That's not a smart collection. None of these are after this one. But it's just for me to throw in there what I think might be nice portfolio-worthy images or sellable image, drone DNGs and TIFFs. I use Capture One to process all my Mavic 2, my Air 2S images, and I generate TIFFs from the DNGs. So this folder here, the uh, um, drone DNGs and TIFFs, is where all those will be stored, in addition to, of course, up in the catalog area. Then we have emailed images. I do that quite a bit. Email it. I have a mailing list of several hundred people that get, email maybe when I'm on the road, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, maybe. Definitely twice a week. Then we go to focus stacks. That's where I will dump all the images that need to be assembled. This is focus stacks finished. HDR merges, self-explanatory. Panoramic image that I'll be shooting with. I'm only taking for the 100S, I'm taking the 20 to 35, the 50, and the 100 to 200. Now that 50 millimeter is an amazing lens for shooting panoramic, so I'm planning on doing quite a few of those and then merging them together, since this laptop is maxed out on RAM, and maxed out, and I got enough space to and speed and horsepower to process those 130 megabyte lossless compressed RAW files from the 100S. Usually I shoot at least four. So yeah, what else do we have here? Focus stacks, then we have HDR, panos, potential prints. Those are self-explanatory. Anything that I think might look good on the wall, I'll probably throw in there. Social media images. I post on Flickr, Instagram, and Facebook. Travel images. So they'll as soon as I email them, I'll drag and drop in there. And my stocks, and then another company I deal with for large, up to 72-inch by 50-inch prints. So that's pretty much it as far as my Lightroom setup. If we go out a little bit here, and we go to, well, I don't have the external. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be running on my ports here, USB-C. I've got two 4 terabyte. One is a SanDisk Pro Extreme, and the other one's a Samsung T7. They're both 4 terabytes. Once I import them into here, there'll be the T7 is the primary drive that will be plugged in when I start my imports at the end of the night. And once I'm done, reviewing, or if I'm too tired, it's just the upload process, and that'll be enough for the night. What I'll do is I will then attach the excuse me, the SanDisk Extreme, which is another 4 terabytes, and using Super Duper, I will copy the contents of one drive onto another. Now, the Samsung T7 travels with me, literally with me in my cargo pant pockets, my shorts. If I'm in a hotel, it's under my pillow. It's never, ever, once the first set of images are uploaded, that drive is never, ever seen together with camera or any camera equipment again for security purposes. The other, the Samsung, the SanDisk Extreme, that one will probably stay in the truck, you know, maybe on a bag somewhere. That's already the backup, so I'm not too worried about that. Plus, I have the memory cards. I try not to reuse them. In Alaska, I had the problem where I was running out. So when I was in Anchorage, I went to a camera shop up there, Stewart's Camera Shop. And believe it or not, I lived in Anchorage from 1976, 77 till 1980. And that camera store was already there. So I went up there, I bought some larger SD cards, 256 gigs, and I used them on the trip because I didn't want to overwrite any of my existing cards. So at the time, I had the images that were on the iPad, plus they were on two externals, which were, I gotta be honest with you, no matter how automated I tried to make it, it was a pain in the butt trying to keep everything in sync. And then I also had the memory cards that were also kept separate from all the camera gear. So basically, I had the three backups. This year, with the laptop that I'm taking, I'm hoping that process is a lot smoother. I've been working on it. I've been playing with it. I've fine-tuned it as best as I can. I think I've got the categories that I need to make my life easier. The only way to, I mean, I've tested it here by, you know, adding XH1, 100S images, making sure, drag and drop, make sure that the collections are working. So all this is right. And as an important side note, I moved this fresh catalog that I've created all these in from my T7 external onto the my actual MacBook Air hard drive, the SSD drive. It's a little bit faster, but honestly, that Samsung T7 is so fast, it really didn't matter. But anyway, what I do now is it opens up. I've got smart previews created, so I don't have to worry about, as you can see right here, smart preview. There it is. All right. So, you know, it's there. The smart preview's there, which is nice. Then all the images, I mean, I touch the T7 when I upload, obviously. Excuse me. All the images will get uploaded, will get sorted, blah, blah, blah. And they'll get backed up to the SanDisk Extreme. And hopefully this will work. I think I'm done refining it. I think this is going to be the methodology that I use on this particular trip. The goal is to make my life easier at the end of a long day of driving, photographing, lunches, dinners, etc., to be able to open up my laptop, plug in my memory card and my externals, and actually upload and maybe enjoy the process of looking through and categorizing the images, because to be honest, back in 2022, I did not enjoy working with that iPad. Wonderful tool. I tried different methodologies of trying to back up, copy to the iPad or to an external, and it was a mess. But anyway, this is where we are. And again, I apologize for the extremely high level of production here. But, you know, I don't do douchey things like have a, music or lights in the background or a guitar on the floor. I think all that's bullshit. I just like to provide, whatever information I can. I don't do B-roll. I don't even edit this stuff. You know what I was going to say. But let's call it stuff. It is what it is. This is how I work. I don't have time to be playing games, making it pretty little videos, because quite frankly, I don't make a dime off of this. It's just for my own self-gratification, and hopefully it'll help out some people out there. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And you can follow me if you'd like at the lazyphotographer.nj on Instagram. thelazyphotographer.nj on Instagram. All right. And that's about all I got right now. If I, come up with anything else, I'll let you know. But I've been working on this for weeks. I'm retired, so I'm pretty much home all day. But I think I've gotten it down to the format that I'm gonna try this year. Like I said, 2022, going up to Alaska and coming back with 11,000 images was I'm not going to call it a disaster, but working with the iPad, even though I had procedures down, I can't tell you how many videos, spent time with Apple. It's something that I will never, ever repeat again, unless it's a small weekend trip or a little family, jaunt somewhere. And last year, 2023, we spent a couple of months up in, where was I? Oh yeah, Halifax, Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. And we were in St. John's during the whole Ocean Gate fiasco. And I was able to photograph that, which, worked out pretty well. But I spent, I don't know, I'm going to say 40, 50 days tooling around up there, Fogo Island, Newfoundland, and Nova Scotia proper. And came back with a bunch of images. At that time, I did not have this laptop. I had my old 11-inch MacBook, my MacBook Air from 2014 with 8 gigs of RAM. Was it RAM? Yeah, and 256 gig hard drive. And I used that laptop just to move files, because obviously opening up a Fuji 100S medium format file was kind of a slow process, but I was able to at least copy and move images between the hard drives and back them up, and it was safe and secure. Even on that slow laptop, which I just sold a few months ago after I got this M2 13.6-inch MacBook Air, that laptop was still amazing, and I loved it. I didn't want to sell it, but who the heck's going to use it? So I think I got like $100 for it. But anyway, that was a great machine, and believe it or not, I felt it worked better than, in my case, than using the iPad Pro. Slower, of course, but it did the job. So this year we're going to try the M2. I'm taking that with me, and what do you call it? Using these smart collections and other collections to try to keep things simplified. And when I get home, I will just export this catalog from the laptop exported as a catalog. Or actually, that's not true. When I get home, I'm probably going to work and edit on my laptop here and on a big screen. Edit, do whatever I need to do. And once I'm done with the editing process and review, etc., which will take me probably into like October, then I'll export this as a catalog and import it into my main catalog, which is on a 27-inch iMac with 3 externals totaling, let me think here, 30 terabytes? No, 44 terabytes of space. So that's where they'll get uploaded into at some point, probably before Thanksgiving. But in the meantime, I'll be doing all the work on the laptop and a big screen. All right. That's about all I have, folks. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you have any comments, leave them in the comments. I would love to hear from what you guys think. And I'll talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.